In the past, we were always divided by the sanest segregation from knowing other mad people in community. Yet even though we were kept isolated and apart as mad individuals, a cursory examination of history will easily show that many of us were always striking out against biggest targeting skin-deep minorities, which we could see. We fought singly like stigma-earning antisocial Henry D. Thoreau, or discreetly like Abraham Lincoln. So instead of the help we could not give ourselves, we in turn helped whatever desperate soul was outside of us, for without access to both our own mad people and the freedom of community, we could have had no ground to bargain together on, and yet it appears we often quench some of that thirst for equality by drinking in another's difficulty and seeing to those needs first, that paved another road of general ethnic equality tread by both the mad and sane today. We had no color to search for upon a face so that we might come together. We were that diverse, and we still are. It is crucial to fight not only the bigot in our diverse community now, but the sanest that strikes against us all. We must seek out one another. Solutions. Here are some good ways any of us can today advance psychological creative maladjustment, like that proudly claimed by MLK, without the sanest help, even locked within our segregated but ever-expansive, ethnically mad community. 1. Celebrate the full diversity of ethnic madness by learning all you can about the mad and traditional civil rights movements and history, for both are your people's history. 2. Wherever you have the opportunity to become bilingual, advance your skills to unite your community. First World Psychiatry is announcing its goals to expand to other cultures, and the need for bilingual inclusion in the mad activist community is critical to ensure that everyone receives equal representation and can access interpreters that share diagnosis and do not consider the person trying to speak as inferior mentally before they even open their mouth or start signing. All in the mad community need the tools to fight saneness for an individual's right to maintain cherished individualistic diversity in the face of what is culturally appropriate, constraining individuals to comply with brand new outsider mechanisms of "you are not correct for your minority's culture." 3. Be alert to the plight of all Jimmy Crows, mad or otherwise, in your local area, and advocate equality wherever you have opportunity. Reach out to all other minorities to more fully comprehend and own the beautiful diversity of your own mad family. 4. Those who have a talent of artistic, creative expression should express equality using their art. 5. Wherever you can, educate those whom truly thirst for equality about mad ethnicity. 6. Psychiatric slaves, celebrate contracting that drapetomania. A slave's thirst for freedom must never be cured and never forgotten, but instead ever upheld and cherished. 7. Welcome any who will fight equally for equality and support them for full inclusion in the mad community when these two claim madness rather than continue to accept normalized injustice. 8. In the true words of our King, MLK, we shall overcome. I'd like to read a little bit. I have a confession to make. I'm a ranter. I could talk to you forever about this stuff, but I have to shorten it. I had decided before I got to New York. Okay, safe. All right. I would not be here without the help of those that resisted the thought of gaining over me. They that would rather share my stigma than never challenge that privilege Psych Out activist when Phoebe Ann Wolfram, a Canadian, described in the same conference as same privilege. I'd never heard of her, nor her I. It is not an invention of comparison, it is an inevitability of comparison. I had decided before I got to New York that my head had been too warped by injustice as an activist not to turn a sickening idea upon its head. I was not to hide that supposed stigma of coming down with drapetomania as a white from my mad brotherhood in all colors and declare it as my own mad pride. For the definition of physician Samuel A. Cartwright's invented disease, according to Wikipedia, was simply holding the idea that black and white are indeed equal. And the symptom was resisting human bondage and obsessing over freedom. Now I knew I had both the symptoms described by that physician, bigoted against blacks, physician bigoted against blacks, but I had the symptoms of believing we were equal, and the ideation of that was the ideation of drapetomania, the belief that you're equal. The symptoms is resisting bondage and resisting human bondage. The love of equality between everybody. The dream I caught from Ernest Cole and MLK. Can't help being born, but you can't help how you think, brother. As it was a controversial idea for whites in the slavery days that created it, the psychiatrists who created it severely forbid it diagnosed ever to whites. That would include activists who hated segregation, which would seem odd to do if no one at the time had been trying. Why highlight a controversial possibility that could fight division? Meanwhile, the psychiatrist said the cure for those black and blue persons who wanted to get away from slave owners was prescribed whipping. Here is another disease that should, regardless of any idea, never be cured and always contracted and relished. That is also the idea of mad pride, the peaceful celebration of diseases that is only really freedom of ideas. By sharing a disease in my skin color, I declare the fear of bondage not to be some minority issue. But a healthful human response of getting sick, being sickened. You catch the disease by the worst things happening to you. You become sick with it because you have a healthy resistance to the idea that some can't be equal. I'd like to take any questions anybody might have.